shot, feel free to return fire with a class 2. But again, go ahead.
For the love of God, please learn the difference between multiple pistols and a class 2 being shot.
Yeah, I mean, it's bound to happen that if there's a shit ton of shots, someone's gonna mistake it. I try to avoid it, try your best, but mistakes happen. I think that it may happen, but for the most part,
I say that because it, like Ward said, it's going to happen. But the minute we pull a class 2, they're going to pull their actual class 2,
or they're going to be upset.
Or they're going to be very upset.
What we're trying to do moving forward, what was kind of implemented before, but what we're trying to do moving forward is we match their level of force. I know we have always done 1-up, right? And we do that for the most part, but once we get to the lethal aspect, we'll use our class 1s against their class 1s. We'll use our class 2s against their class 2s, and when they get class 3s, we'll use our class 3s. That's what we're trying to do now moving forward. So as far as I'm concerned, and I know there's some different varying viewpoints on this, but as far as I'm concerned, the second they use a Tech 9, MP9, automatic, or whatever the AP pistol is, like the second they brandish an automatic and use an automatic against an officer, as far as I'm concerned, they have broken the seal for the class 2s. That's my standpoint on it, but it's not all written down yet. Obviously, a lot of this is still new, and class 2s are just now hitting the streets. But as far as I'm concerned, as soon as a class 2 is shot at you, it's kind of fair game. If they want to bring all class 2s, that's one thing. If they only want to bring one class 2, I mean, it's kind of shit out of luck. I feel like as soon as you brandish that class 2 and shoot at cops with it, it's kind of fair game. That's kind of the standpoint that I'm on. But again, obviously, a lot of this is new, and each big situation that's happening, we're learning. Like from these situations tonight, there's been notes made, and trying to figure out how we move forward to better benefit both sides. Obviously, we know we want you guys to not get burnt out during this week, and that's what I think one of our main concerns are for like me, Eden, and Mackie, is these criminal gang is like putting you guys through hell and then burning you guys out. I think that's one of the main concerns here, and trying to keep people as safe as we can during this week. But again, I wasn't present for the full night, so this is my little standpoint on it. The end part, as hectic as it was, I think we did well. Yes, we lost in the garage. I don't think it was a tactical error. I just think it was we got funneled for the most part. But that's about all that I have been privy to know so far. I know that each of you know a little bit about what's going on tonight, and so on and so forth. But all I'm aware of is that the gangs are pissed. Hell Week has been initiated, and that's about all I know, and has been relayed to me. Mackie's in the back, Eden are in the back, but anyone that wants to come up and talk about the events of tonight, again, I wasn't present for the first couple shootings. I was present for the last one, and can chime in on what we need to work on, what we did good, what we did bad. I will say I get that tensions are very high. I know that a lot of us are going to get pissed off during whatever is unfolding here, and we're going to try to figure out how to mitigate that moving forward. But obviously, even when you're frustrated, try to think logically about something. I saw someone run someone over on a bike tonight and blow it up. Like, let's I know we're mad, but let's try to be easy with that shit. But that's about all I can chime in on, because that was all that I was present for. But again, class 2s, once they're brandished and shot at us, I mean, it's kind of fair game. Does anyone really have questions about that stuff?
I mean, the only question I have is in relation to the running over a bike or people in general. It's not, let's go easy on that. Let's not do that.
Yeah, let's not do that. I don't know. I didn't get to speak with him. He's not here. I didn't know if it was intentional or not. It appeared intentional, but I don't know.
If I can chime in.
Yeah, same. If I can chime in as well.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Dean.
It was very much intentional. That was 100%. I am very angry right now, and I'm gonna put my deputy vehicle over your bike. I don't know who
Yeah.
the deputy was. If anyone actually
I do.
caught the number,
I know who it was.
just
We're
bring
not
it
gonna
up
make
to.
assumptions unless we do an interview first.
Uh,
Kendrick, wait. She's speaking.
I was gonna say, whoever has the deputy's name, just let's take it up to BCSO, and then they can do their internal investigation what happened. But I was gonna say, if I see this on the SASP side, I will talk to you, and depending on what I see and what I hear, I will tell you to go 42.
Yeah. I was present for that. Again, yeah, obviously we'll talk. I know who the deputy was. But you know, again, the whole point is I get it's very hectic. We're getting shot at from a million places. We've been shot at a shit ton of night. We're pissed off. We're frustrated. This is annoying. I get it. When you start feeling to the point where you need to, like, you know, you're going to run someone over or do something that is outside of our SOPs, you know, it may be a time just to take a step back. I know sometimes it feels like I can't leave people, you know, we're short staffed or we're getting shit on tonight. You know, if it's not working for you, you might just need to take a break. Yeah, like, again, obviously from what I've been told is the criminals are mad at us. So for whatever reason they are mad at us, right? When they're taking it out on us, we don't want to turn around and double down on that. That's like, we're going to try to work to resolve this. We have a job to do, absolutely. And that comes first. But we can discuss everything afterwards. Obviously, we're not going to sit there pointing guns and talk and you know, kumbaya and find the solution right there. But you know, I don't know if this is a thing where SASP or BCSO or SASP and BCSO need to get with the gangs and figure out what the fuck is going on, or what the solution is moving forward. Obviously, this is very new to all of us. But from my understanding and what has been told to me, tonight has been hell. From what I've been told also, though, is that you guys did a phenomenal job. What I witnessed in the 2 hours that I was around is that you guys did do very well. Most people kept their calm on the radio. Most people kept, pretty clear call outs. Again, I know we walked over each other a couple times. Again, there was so many situations going on that I think we did pretty well. But if someone wants to come take the mic for me that was present for the whole night, and obviously this is, again, an open mic for debriefs. This is not a lieutenant sergeant thing. You guys can come up and talk about anything you saw, kudos, complaint, whatever it is, as long as it's not targeted in the complaint side of things. You can come up and we can discuss the events and moving forward ideas, etc. Last thing I have to say is the update. Again, I dropped the ball on the training. Sabers, I said this last time that I need to get with you. That is the only thing holding me back on the PSB training. I have all the other tactics figured out, and then I probably should roll that to SWAT as well. The next thing we're doing is scheduling for that once we have the modules completed. But the modules have been started. They're actually almost completed. Eden's done a really good job for her pursuit training. McCarty is back from LOA. So the final go through is getting with McCarty on the pursuit side of the training. And then again, my PSB is done. And then talking about clearing banks and stuff is also incorporated in that module. So it's really, we're right there. I know Eden's been kind of hard on herself. I've been hard on myself because it's taken a long time. I get it. Life gets busy, but it is something that I want to push out, especially before a PSB gets hit. But again, we're right there. Everything's pretty much completed. I kind of need to do my end and get with Eden so that we can complete the modules and then start talking about dates to set them up. But that's, I think, the last things on my scope. Yeah, that's the last on that I have. But yeah, the mic is open. Someone can take it and talk about tonight and all the things.
I am gonna say I don't really know what has been going on tonight. I got on shift and got shot, so but I have been getting told bits and pieces, so I'm gonna try and collect all the information of everything that's going on. I'm trying to plan a meeting with all of command to see how we can best approach this. For right now, I just want you guys to keep officer safety in mind because it's obviously very hectic. Don't lose your cool. Just try and stay calm and collected. I know that's a hell week essentially, and everything's hectic as shit and confusing, and everyone's gonna get flustered. And it's gonna get chaotic, but just try to keep your cool. We're working on trying to figure out all the details and gonna sort it out to figure out how to best approach it.
I'm gonna go ahead and say a couple of words, even though I wasn't here for the entire night, and I also have no idea what's going on. I just want to mention two things in regards to, again, officer safety and also another part. With officer safety, like Eden just said, please, please, please prioritize that. I don't know what is going on. I don't know what this thing is. What I do know is that there's open season on us, by the looks of it, and everyone and their mothers have decided that it is now fine to be just completely aggressive towards us, meaning plate carriers as of now are not mandatory, even though we will probably talk about that in command. I very much highly recommend all of you to be wearing plate carriers at all times if you're not doing that already. There's no downside to it, especially in these situations. Invest in a vest. Second thing, we are here to protect and serve. We go towards the danger, not away from it. Nevertheless, if you see 3 cars circling the block and going around you and obviously planning something to ambush you, get the fuck out of there. That doesn't mean go 120 around the block. It means be smart about it. You're not going to do any good to anyone if you're bleeding out on the street. You may not catch the speeding vehicle that is just around the block that you're responding to go there, but at least you won't be mag dumped by 3 cars. Please be smart and please prioritize officer safety. Pride is not a conversation in these kind of times. So just be smart about it. Always keep your eyes peeled. The second thing that I do want to mention is the motivation. We've heard from Ward about that if this isn't the thing for you, take a break. What I can tell you and what I will tell you, because I've seen this happen before, and I've seen this sort of stuff break people. What I can tell you with 100% certainty is that we will prevail. There is no way we do not come out on top. We have the resources, we have the manpower, we have the firepower, and we will come out on top. It is not a sprint, it's a marathon. This is going to take a week, it's going to take 2 weeks. We will have losses, we will be hurt, we will be shot, but at the end, we will prevail. So just pull through this. If you don't want to go through this, take a leave. Take the week off if you don't want to get yourself in that danger. But please do not let this break you, because we do need you. That's all from me.
Hello. I know I have been away for a little bit of time, but street crimes will, obviously, this is literally our fucking job. We will do what we can from our side. I will be speaking with SCU afterwards, so if you can stay around after, that would be great. But I will say this, if I've been through a Hell Week before, like Jaeger said, Hell Weeks are shit, but they happen for a reason. Like Ward said, clearly the criminals out there, the gangs, they are pissed at something. They are pissed at something we have done, or supposedly done, or however you want to look at it. But at the end of the day, they are clearly pissed at something. Sure, there's going to be people that will probably jump on the bandwagon and be like, yee, I'm going to shoot a cop. And we'll deal with those. We have, like Jaeger said, we have the resources, we'll deal with those people. But there's a balance, and clearly it is out of balance right now. I'll speak with Win and Staten and Command, but we do have a role to play in this as street crimes. We have the resources and the connections with some gang leaders that we can reach out to and see what this is about and try and resolve it in a way that doesn't involve getting shot at every 10 fucking seconds. I know I wasn't here for the shootout today. I was doing something else. But I will put street crimes together, and they can go and see if we can figure out what this is about and put a stop to it before it gets out of hand. Just because it's called Hell Week doesn't mean it has to last a week. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Can I take center for a moment?
Yeah. pop off, Queen.
I can't believe you.
So right now it seems like people don't understand why this is happening. I'm gonna get some clarification or give some clarification from what Sergeant Shaw told me and what I talked to Win about. I was not on duty when it originally started, but I picked up on things pretty fast. At some point earlier today, they kidnapped Sergeant Shaw, took her to the, I'm not sure which theater it is. It's the one up in Vinewood. I can't remember the name.
Vinewood Bowl.
Okay. They took her up there, executed her, Wynn took her to the hospital. I was bouncing between shots being fired while we were trying to transport people that I got into a gunfight leaving the scene of where Shaw was shot. But when I did speak to Shaw, she couldn't communicate well with me, but she had left me a note. And she said that DOC and cops who try too hard are the reason why this is happening. Cops have a lack of respect for gangs, yet want us to respect them, and the other way, vice versa. So it's pretty much coming down to, what did she say? Cops being shitters and DOC not staying in their lane. I'm not sure on the complete detail of that because, like I said, she couldn't talk. She was ad-libbing shit on a piece of paper. But it seems like the main thing that needs to be looked at is how our departments are running and probably opening a line of communication with those gangs so that this can stop. And not just saying that we're going to do something, but something actually has to get fucking done.
They also need to keep their boys in check. If they want to be a gang and powerful, they need to keep everybody else in check.
I don't know the full extent of it, but I have just the note that she gave me, what I was talking to Win about. I'm going to run that through with my sergeant and command and go from there.
Bro, thank God, Jericho. Oh my God, no one knew.
Okay, I'm just gonna touch on a few things because a lot of you were here when I was around for the last 1080s. First of all, guys, the first thing you should do when you get into your vehicle, make sure that your lockbox is locked. Okay, it is Hell Week. That means that there will be ups and downs. Try to keep track of your equipment. Don't have equipment on you that they can grab off you. So you don't need to go do the paperwork for that. Second of all, I just need to give some feedback. The comms were okay, but for the 1080s, even if we're being hunted, we have cars that are trailing us, we still need everyone from 3rd, 4th, 5th behind. I need you guys to start paralleling. I need to start thinking about how can you help from the sides. You just trailing after, leaving a long ass tail will not help the primary if they do, do things like what happened at the Red Garage. If you are paralleling, you can come in from a different side and angle. And also keep your distance, listen to the comms, and just stay calm. Pretty much that. When it comes to SWAT for this, I'm going to talk to all of the SWAT members. I'm going to talk to SCU. Please do not carry your class 3s on you or in your bag at any time. Stock that into your locker, for the love of God. We do not need them to have those kind of goodies right now in their hands. Also, from a perspective, please try to use our tools, certifications a lot more. AIR is one of the best things we can have. If anyone is still waiting to get their pilot cert or towards it, there's lots of us just, keep pinging in that channel on our Discord on your mobile, and we will try to get you up and ready. I have already spoken to Captain Eden about getting at least the water cert out and rolling again, because it's just a boat. We shouldn't be that hard to learn how to drive a boat. We have certifications, use them, call out, use communication, and best of all, again, I cannot highly pressure what Ward said. If you're starting to get annoyed, angry, or you're sensing that something is not right, take a step back, pull off. We will not hang you for that, because we need to look inwards of how we are doing things, as well as we try to protect the citizens for whatever this Hell Week is. Because something is wrong, something activated this. So just keep that in mind. Remember to communicate. Use your sergeants. Talk to them. Anything, please.
Anybody else? Sheriff, you got anything to add from county side
No.
if you're here? Nothing at all?
I wasn't there.
Any deputy that was there have anything from BCSO side to add to it at all?
I was there from about. Sorry, you want to go ahead?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, you can take the podium.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
literally
step
can't
over.
put anything. I was not there. I'm literally just listening and kind of taking notes.
Yeah, so pretty much I was there from about 12 a.m. Eastern from when this all started. Got on duty. Obviously, Sergeant Shaw got taken hostage, searched up north while units searched down south. Multiple 1013s. Communication, I'd say, was honestly on point for the most part. People were obviously talking over each other. We had multiple shootings, different locations. I think for the most part, if you don't need to be in a certain area, then get out of that area and get where you have other units. I know Lieutenant Colonel tried communicating that over to units on the ground while he was operating Air 1, I believe. And people were sticking around in areas and then they were getting shot at as a result of it. So I think for the most part, if you don't need to be somewhere, then get out of that area. Because you'll most likely end up getting shot at, or vehicles will start circling you and try to take you hostage or whatever. But other than that, I think for the most part, communication was on point. Everyone did a great job. I think we only lost about half our units during most of those shootouts. I wasn't there for the Red Garage shootout. But yeah, that's that for me.
Going once.
Yeah, I'll add on a little bit.
Go. Okay.
So, a couple things too. I'll send it off with. So, I had this discussion with Jaeger earlier in the car, and it brought it to my attention. So, we were talking about lethal force and whatnot while we were in a pursuit, and so we talked about a couple things. And most of the time, lethal force is very black and white. It is, pointing a gun at me, shoot them. Not pointing a gun, don't shoot them. Normally, it's pretty black and white. Shit happens. People make mistakes, and I understand that. We happen to be in a city where if you do a bad shoot, you're not going to lose your job. If you do a bad shoot, most of the time, you will not lose your job. Because, again, we're obviously the most crime-ridden city. We get placed in positions where we have to shoot people more often than any other department. So one of the things we discussed earlier, and someone asked if lethal was authorized, was there was a deputy that was placed at gunpoint and they were robbed. They then gave the deputy back and did not harm said deputy at all. So some people were wondering, well, is lethal authorized on that? I mean, they robbed a cop and took their stuff. It's kind of questionable because you know, if someone points a gun at a cop, they get shot. But when you show when they robbed that cop and they gave the hostage back, if you will, and they're now fleeing and avoiding that situation. Are you going to gun them down in the back, or are we, how are we going to handle that? I opted to say no on that situation because, the intent was not to harm, it appeared. And I didn't feel comfortable shooting someone and potentially taking their life on the basis of a robbery only. I know that that's not always going to be the case, and I know that it's not always going to hold that way. But that was one of the things that I was taking into consideration whilst we were pursuing someone that robbed a cop. Another thing that Dean talked about, and I want to chime in on, is one of the ways that I like to run my pursuits, and you've probably heard me say it before on the radio. I like 3 in the stack. It's ideal. It's the bare minimum that you need for a pit and a box, and it tends to work pretty well. I feel like 4 is one thing, but once you start getting into the 5s, etc., it feels like you're just adding on to the tail. What I like to do, and again, you've probably heard me say it, is I will say, give me 3 in the stack, everyone else parallel. When I feel like that tends to be the best because the primary and secondary normally stick, and if they get just ankles broken, the tertiary can stay on them, and then someone will catch up. You also have a perimeter around that if they do get their ankles broken, the chances of finding them in a side street that you lost them is more ideal. This is stuff that we were going to hit on in the pursuit training. Another thing is when you're paralleling, if spikes are authorized, the more opportunities that we have to try to spike that car, the better. So the more units that we have paralleling, the better. And the same thing goes on a vehicle. I hate when people shoot from their cars. It's not completely outlawed in the SOPs. We do encourage, it's a very hard thing to shoot from your car accurately. There are times that you have no other choice. And again, it's just at your discretion. But one of the things that I like to do is when there's lethal authorized on a vehicle, I will have 3 in the stack. And I try to avoid shooting from my car entirely, but the same people that should be paralleling, like give me 3 in my stack, everyone else parallel, instead of setting up and doing spikes, you're setting up and you have a slight gap. And I talk about this gap in one of the modules, and I need to draw it out better, but there's a slight gap for when that pursuit is coming and you have your setup, right? That normally you would have a spike, but there's a gap there where your backdrop, as long as it is safe and there's the car's not pursuing too close and they're pursuing at a safe distance, that you can put several shots on that car, and then stop firing as the primary secondary units begin to catch up to that primary vehicle. I tend to use that. We did it earlier. I know Jaeger, you may have been around the other night when I exercised that, when there was lethal authorized on that. I think it was that yellow car, the Sultan. And when you're staged up ahead, as if you were going to spike or roadblock, but you get to put 3, 4, 5 rounds into that car and then move on, rather than we're just chasing each other through the city at 120, just winging bullets around when who God knows where that bullet's going to hit. That's something that if utilized correctly and implemented correctly, it tends to work pretty well. And I think that was the only other thing that I had to add, was just take the considerations about that lethal force. Obviously, again, they're mad at us for some reason, so we're trying to figure out exactly what all those variables are and kind of work on those. Try to again, preserve life and but other than that, officer safety, officer safety, officer safety. Try to double up if you can. Plate carrier is recommended highly. Be careful when responding to what you would think is a monotonous or mundane call. Because there's alternative motives here. They might draw you into something that seems like a routine store robbery, and it is not. And I think that's all I got for this. Obviously, ongoing information is going to be coming out. We're going to get more insight through general interactions with gangs and criminals to give us more insight on those situations. So. Otherwise, stay tuned. Not everyone was on duty tonight, so if you see a fresh face, make sure you inform them so they know what's going on, so they don't just go out lackadaisically patrolling and then get rolled. And that's all I got.
Going once. Going twice. Okay, I'm already over the 30 minute cap. The only thing that I'm going to tell people, I'm going to say this in terms of just keeping it real. If at any point in time you are not having fun, leave. Whether that be leaving a situation or taking a break for a little bit. Keep yourself safe, but make sure you're having fun with what you're doing. It ain't worth the stress.
To add to that, if you would like to take an LOA, do so now. You do not have to.
LOAs don't really matter as much. You only have 10 hours a month. Like, don't put
Yeah,
in an
no,
LOA
but
if
just
you're only going to be gone for a couple of days. If you're gone
just-
for like
just-
2 weeks, that's when an LOA is present.
Yeah, no, just to let us know that you do not want to participate in this, feel free to file an LOA or just let us know.
But just keep it fun. If something seems off or unsettling or random or anything like that, take it up the appropriate way. Because even though this is a hell week or whatever, the
You're
fuck
good.
everyone's
This
calling
character,
it
Jackson,
doesn't give people an excuse
doesn't
to
have
just
any
run
shooting
for no
skill
reason.
because she's brand new. So,
So keep that in mind.
yeah.
If you could
But other than
also submit a complaint on the person who used their vehicle, give us a motorcycle, please. Thank you, love you.
I'll shoot you the message of who it was.
I literally, I'm not even
I
joking.
mailed you something.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. I only do complaints when they go through the actual paperwork file because it's fair and impartial.
Put in the form.
Put
He's
in the
sheriff.
complaint because
Shit gets lost whenever it's word of
Yep.
mouth.
Yep.
as
And I
anybody
have,
that is
I
in my
actually,
fast
I'm not
lane
even
knows.
joking. I actually keep a personnel file, and everything that a person gets complaint wise or the foundings, there are like every complaint has 5 letters involved into it. The notification that they have a complaint, what the complaint about is the second letter, that it's under investigation is the third letter, the fourth letter is their interview, and the fifth is the conclusion. So I'm not joking. I need that complaint form, please. It is in my standard operating procedures to not use your vehicle as lethal force. I literally says in big red letters, just don't do it. Ask Eden. It literally says that.
Okay.
It does.
Because it's just not, it doesn't make fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just don't do it. It's not fun.
Especially a bike that exploded.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Okay.
But I love you guys.
With everything said and done, I'm not going to sit here and waste my breath anymore. If anybody has any questions, comments, or concerns to direct to someone, feel free to direct them to me or direct them to a supervisor. We will sort things out. Just try to have a normal daily experience and don't get shot. Other than that, everybody is dismissed.
I don't know about that last part, dog.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll make a conscious effort to try to not get shot and shoot first.
Love you, bye.
Everybody dismissed so I can go the fuck to sleep.
No.
That
I'm actually going to stay here the
I
entire
just want to
time.
play League of Legends with my friends.
Then get the fuck out of here.
I just want to play League of Legends with my crush.
That's a good laugh. I love that.
You want to play, boss?
No, but I don't play that. I know what I'm doing.
You got
Sabers.
one.
I think I'm
so it's
changing my
fine.
hair.
Yeah, I play Dota, but I don't play League.
Yeah, bro, it ruins my wife.
Hank, please.
Yeah, literally, I can't do it, bro. I usually have fucking like 2,000 hours on Dota, and I stopped.
My
So
job,
I
thank
don't
for the
do it.
raid.
Yeah, bro.
Just do
Yeah,
it
boy, not
again.
good.
You
No,
just
bro,
do it
not
again,
doing
bro.
it.
Me and you
No.
play all the time.
Oh,
bro.
sorry.
No,
Hold
bro, I
on.
can't. I literally don't know what I'm doing with Dota, bro. I mean, League of Legends, bro.
There you go. Post it.